everybody. Today is Monday, March 14th, 2016. I am putting out this video to express my disgust about the protests over the weekend at the one that actually canceled in Chicago, that canceled Donald Trump's rally, and then the other protesters trying to disrupt the protest which are now causing to have him double the normal Secret Service that he would normally have. Now, obviously, at this point, it is quite clear that Trump's behavior, okay, is causing the candidates on the remaining candidates on the GOP side, okay, his demeanor and behavior are going to cause him to hand over the presidency to Hillary, and it'll be all over. Because if I'll say this, and I can pretty much guarantee you this, if once Hillary takes possession of the White House, this right here will be thrown down the toilet, okay? This will be thrown down the toilet under another leftist administration. And for Donald Trump to hijack the GOP and not give other people with class who are truly conservative, who actually believe in this, a chance at the presidency, and for the RNC for allowing this stuff to happen, plus the classless people on the left who disrupt protests, who do not believe in this at all, they want to throw this down the toilet. Okay? I don't believe this is funny at all. And the sad thing is, there are probably some GOP people, most likely more establishment people than conservative people, and probably in Congress, are probably going to vote for Hillary Clinton in November if Trump is on the ballot. Okay? And then this will be gone. This will be thrown down the toilet. And that will be it. And now, let me explain another issue that other than the Constitution being thrown down the toilet, okay? Our only hope right now, realistically, is the Article 5 Convention of States to save this Constitution, to save the United States of America. And sadly, I reside in the state that is least likely to participate in an Article 5 convention. I reside in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have a GOP governor who was a Republican in name only. Pretty much most of the legislatures, both chambers of the legislature, are Democrats. That's the way it's been for the past about 50 years, well beyond my lifetime. And most people in the Commonwealth, probably nationwide, but especially in the Commonwealth, most people have no clue, probably no longer, especially the younger ones, younger than me, are no longer being taught that Massachusetts was the first, was the birthplace, it actually is the birthplace of the American Revolution, starting with the Tea Party, the Stamp Revolt, and the birthplace of what would become the United States of America. But 2016, 240 years after our independence, America is pretty much in survival mode. How did we get this far? Let me explain in the most simplest, straightforward terms as possible. It is clearly to blame not so much the leftist activists up here in Massachusetts. They are not fully to blame. It is not necessarily the LGBT activists strictly to blame. Okay? They did not cause this to go down the toilet. Okay? They, strictly speaking, they haven't. It is, this is who are the main culprits. And I got to explain this even further down a little bit. Okay? Okay? The Massachusetts has, out of all the 50 states in the Union, has the most baptized Roman Catholics out of every state, percentage-wise, out of every state in the Union. And obviously, we are pretty much ground zero for Catholicism in the United States. Okay? And people like me, Orthodox practicing Catholics like me, both clergy and lay, there are not too many clergy. There are probably only fewer, no, not fewer, there are only not so many more lay persons. Okay? And there are not too many valid masses said. Okay? It is the fault of them for not standing up to the faith, especially those in elected office, okay, who are Catholic, who should be defending the Catholic faith, especially those who received confirmation a long time ago, okay? And especially this week is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, which we are now in Passiontide this year, happens to be the Passiontide. And then South Boston's parade at the insistence and at the dominance of the apostate Catholic, Irish Catholic mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh. Okay, I am going to name names. He has forced homosexuals, activists, to be admitted to march in the parade, and it has forced faithful Orthodox Catholics to boycott St. Patrick's Day parades, despite a Supreme Court ruling, unanimous United States Supreme Court ruling from over 20 years ago now, that said that the parade organizers could ban or admit whoever they chose. So they pretty much they're pretty much conceding and throwing a Supreme Court ruling away, and obviously I haven't been with St. Patrick's Day parade since I was a kid, and I have no plans of going to one either. And since St. Patrick's Day always falls during Lent, there's no reason to drink Guinness or eat corned beef or cabbage, okay? It should be a day of fast and abstinence, period. Now, there's the other hottest issue on Beacon Hill, okay, right now, is the so-called bathroom bill, which pretty much has the support of the RINO gay rights activist Governor Charlie Baker. He is expected to sign the bill once it passes through the legislature, which this bill would require transgenders to go into any bathroom they choose. This is wrong, period. And also we have an attorney general who compares this to racial segregation, which this has nothing to do with, which the two have nothing to do. This is a public safety issue, big time, okay? And if this bill passes, where obviously I understand that most people don't like to use a public restroom, but if this bill passes, there are two things that are going to happen. One, we're going to be most people are going to be forced to hold their piss until they get home. And number two, every bathroom is going to have to be retrofitted, and every bathroom is going to have to be a single stall restroom with a sink in it. That's going to cost too much money. Most people cannot afford that. Most small businesses cannot afford that. And if that passes, then I don't know what to tell you. And this goes to the further root of the problem. The reason why there was a sex abuse scandal, reason why same-sex marriage was legalized here in Massachusetts first, and the reason why that everyone, including a lot of baptized Catholics who are unorthodox, who are apostates, both in public officials and private citizens, simply because that the clergy, especially the episcopacy, the bishops, have refused to speak out and have refused to defend the faith. They have refused to say pontifical high masses in their cathedral churches. They have refused to require the traditional Latin Mass in every single parish within the Commonwealth. Every single chapel, every single monastery, every single Catholic school, every single hospital chaplaincy, every single prison chaplaincy, if there is one. They've refused. They have sold the faith out. And currently, as it's set up now, in order to get married, in order to marry a Catholic woman without interference, without brainwashing, you have to have an SSPX priest visiting to come up in Massachusetts to do the wedding at the nuptial mass at a neutral site. I shockingly, despite going to mass at a good, with one of the holiest diocesan priests around, I had to learn this through an insert. And this is sad, okay? And let me tell you this. Unless we, the people, not just in the Commonwealth, but in the other states too, okay? Unless we show up to vote and make our intentions known at the ballot box, nothing's going to change for the better. I can guarantee that. 2017 is the 100th anniversary of the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima. And this is a quite possibility that there may not be, the world may end next year. I don't know this for sure. I hope not. We hope not, but we don't know, okay? But it is coincidental. So this is what I'm asking now, okay? And I'm going to be nice about it, okay? And I'm going to say this is more geared to people who probably, if you are living in Massachusetts and you are watching this, great. If you're in another state, that's fine too, okay? Because it pretty much applies to everybody now. This is a global crisis. It's not just uniquely a Massachusetts crisis. But let me say this. 2017, if God willing, will be the next mayoral election for the city of Boston, okay? If you are a Boston resident, okay, if you support traditional values, you better run against Marty Walsh in 2017, okay? I'm not a Boston resident, so I don't count. I don't qualify to run for, obviously. But if you are running, if you live in Boston within the city limits and you meet the constitutional requirements to run for mayor, you meet the legal requirements, and if you support traditional values, you better run, okay? I'm serious. You better run for mayor in 2017 because obviously, Boston, our capital city, where American started, the Freedom Trail is going to go down the tubes, okay? And we have to, Boston has to elect a conservative mayor, and there hasn't been a non-democratic mayor since for the 1930s, I think. It's been a long, long time, and let me do yourself a favor. If you are a Catholic, you better be a traditionalist. Otherwise, don't bother running for the mayor of Boston because you're not going to win. Okay, you're not going to win if Marty Walsh, assuming he runs for re-election. Now the following year, 2018 is the state election. Well, there's one this year just for legislative seats, but 2018 is when the governor's term is up. Okay, I'll say this. Let me say this. Okay, Massachusetts has to elect a truly conservative governor. Okay, to reverse course. If not, it's not going to matter because the Massachusetts GOP is not any different than the Democratic Party. Okay, it's not any different. It's just an alternative partisan point for election purposes. They're just worried about winning elections. They don't care for principles at all. So I'll say this: if we have somebody conservative candidate is going to have to step up and run for governor of Massachusetts, and and it's got to happen. It's got to happen next time around. Otherwise, we're done. Okay. And as soon as Massachusetts is done, we'll be the first state to literally sink from America, from the Union, and then once Massachusetts goes, so goes the rest of the nation. It'll be done. Okay. And that'll be it. So, but I'll say this. Obviously, I'm not putting this video out as so much as an intention to run for any office right now. But I'll say this: if I were the governor of Massachusetts, okay, this counterfeit Novus Ordo Church, this Novus Ordo Catholic episcopacy, they would be punished big time. I would punish all corrupt politicians. I would punish the people who claim to say that they are Roman Catholic, but they're really not. Okay, I would punish them. I don't care. Okay, we got a state and we got a country to save. Okay, if it doesn't happen at the state level, it's not going to happen at the federal level. Trust me. Okay, so God help us. God bless us. In nomine Patri,